on a flight headed to Nigeria. It's too much light in here. Let me cut this other light off. Excuse me. All right. Minister Sharon Martin has said they keep disconnecting her. All right. If you can, just try to come on back on. Shalom to Akoti Melanie Brown from Bread of Life Assembly there in Kentucky.
Yes. Thank
Shalom
you.
to you. Shalom.
Okay. Thank the Lord.
Shalom to Aria Benya. We're not going to be on long tonight. But again, as I was saying, I'm supposed to be on a flight right now to Nigeria, but let me see. It's taken. They made it. They really made. Okay, come on now. You got to be kidding me. I think okay. Too many passwords. But they're making it very difficult. You got to be kidding me. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that got me a little upset, but my wife said it's just not time yet. But we're preparing. I'm supposed to return to New York to the embassy December the 1st, where my visa will be back. And I'm really going to see if I can get an extended visa because I'm getting really impatient with having to go through this every time I travel to Nigeria. Before you could go straight, you got to have an invitation letter from the host nation, whoever is inviting you, that's a citizen. Then you have to make sure you have a passport, that it's current, and then you apply for a visa to that particular country, given the invitation letter and a copy of the passport of the host citizen of that particular country. So, wow. Okay. For some reason, they're not letting Minister Martinez come in. I don't know what's going on with that. But I know they've been playing a lot of games. So, wow, this just popped up. This from this actress from the movie Supernatural, Nikki Acox. suddenly dies at age 47. Supernatural actress Nikki Acox dies at 47. Wow, that's sad. People are losing their life suddenly everywhere. We have to make sure we are right before Yahweh and in a rightful place. Um, we had a we had a wild time we was on with my brother Doug Rice, and you know he was he's a lot more raw than me. I tend to get there, but some people, they, that's just who they are. I mean, that's who I am. But the Most High, sometimes He say, "Okay, pull back. Don't want you going that route." So that being said, we are finishing up the topic surrounding the Khazarians and who is true Israel. A lot of leaders within the Hebraic community have addressed this topic, and some have addressed it more cutting edge than others. But I want y'all to look at my, if y'all can see Arya Binya's screen that he has there. Um, if I'm not mistaken, this is a very old picture of the Hebraic community, and
yeah, it was.
hold on. Okay, listen. I need y'all to wait until I open the floor, because if you cut me off, we're going to clash, and there's a delay of speech. So since you started, say that again, Aria.
I looked it up and it's like in Harlem. It was in Harlem.
Harlem. Okay. Yeah. The Hebraic. See, I don't particularly care for them identifying us as Black Hebrews, because then what you're saying unapologetically is that the original Hebrews were not Black. That we're converts, and so this is why we've been rebuking this subject of racism, colorism, but at the same token dealing with facts. I am going to be very blunt and clear. I am not a racist. I am not a bigot. First of all, bigotry or prejudice and racist or racism, you trace it from the same root tree, but these are different branches. Let me tell you what I mean. I can't be a racist unless I was in a position of power where I can affect a host or a group of people economically, socially, and that sort of thing. Bigotry, racism in the heart is expressed if it's not dealt with, and that person who carries that spirit of racism, if that person gets into a place or a position of power, it will cloud their judgment. It will cause their decisions to be based off of who they accept and who they don't accept. When I look at Melanie Brown, I don't see a so-called white woman. I don't see a Caucasian woman. Do you know what I see? My sister. My sister. And this is a shot to everyone that hears me. If you can't get over your personal biases, you will be stunted as an individual. Racism exists not only in the political realm, but it also is at its core nurtured in many so-called worship assemblies. Okay, you can't hear me on. Okay, let me see if they can hear me on Facebook. Okay, because I know I've been having problems. But it also okay. Facebook. Elder Jasmine A. Clark. Please let your chief rabbi know that I will be mailing out. I got everything together and my printer is back online. So we will be mailing out that his certificate this week. So racism, the bigotry is a deep-rooted spirit, it's something that causes injury based off of someone not liking you because of how you look or from what bloodline you come from. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I'm going to go here with the flow of the Ruach. I have suffered much pain and racism from my own blood family, my mother's side. Let me explain. I'm saying this and I'm going to stand by what I say because it is what it is. And I'm saying this in boldness. I don't know who's calling me, but this is ridiculous. That's probably one of my grandbaby's friends. Okay. Pardon me. Okay. Let's deal with this. Hold on, excuse me for a minute. Please stop calling me. You're calling the wrong number. All right. Let's do this. Let me cut this off for a minute. And if I decide to go on, matter of fact, I am going to go on TikTok. I'm going to try to behave myself because TikTok don't have filters, moderators, and there's a lot of trolls. So got to be careful. I don't get to cussing folk out on TikTok. But let me explain my testimony. As I stated, I've suffered personally under the hand of racism from my own family. Let me explain my testimony. I don't know who this is. Excuse me. I knew it. My granddaughter. See, this is what happens when you let your grandchildren use your iPads. And these people. Okay. We're not gonna be distracted. On my mother's side, my mother is African American. She was African American. Happens to have some Caribbean relation. Okay. On my mother's side. From Israel to West Africa, Bantu, Limba, Igbo, and then carried away to America via the transatlantic slave trade. That's my mother's side. Most of my mother's people were melanated, deep, dark melanated. All right? So we're dealing with the Bantu, Limba, Igbo, House of Judah. Now, my father, who I affectionately call my papi, he was from Puerto Rico. He was Puerto Rican. Fair skin. We traced his family to Spain, parts of Portugal, parts of Spain, even parts of Africa. The so-called Puerto Rican descends from the house of Ephraim, from Levi and Ephraim. My mother had me from this Puerto Rican man. She kept me from him. Her parents were prejudiced against Puerto Ricans. Go figure. So I suffered rejection and other things. Now, I come to know the Savior many years ago, 1979. I fell out of fellowship and went into darkness, deeper darkness. But I come back 1983. I began a life of fasting and prayer and seeking the Most High's face. To make a long story short, as I'm seeking him, I'm questioning my identity. And while in prayer, Yahweh showed me that I had sisters that I have not met on my father's side. The first person he showed me was my sister Irene. You see how we interact with one another right now? You would think we grew up together. And she always tells this story. She says to me, she said, Poppy, if we grew up together, I wouldn't have let you get into all the trouble that you got into. I said, please, you'd have had to chase me through the streets. And she said, I would have chased you. So you got these two great bloodlines that I descend from. My point in bringing this up is I suffered racism from my mom's side because they didn't care for Latinos. But my mom, evidently, she didn't carry that same sentiment because look at me. And then you have people across the aisle who didn't like me because of the shade of my skin. Or other reasons. People are caught up with themselves and their own struggle. Last night, I had to send out a painful text dismissing someone, and out of respect, I'm not going to mention their name, but this person, Yahweh, used me to raise this person up. They decided to betray me. They decided to do what they. Very painful. Very painful. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore to me because people are people. And they're going to do whatever their heart. I'm not going to make no excuses for how people are. But needless to say, we have that spirit going unchecked in a lot of churches. And it's a wonder. Every now and then, the Most High Yah allows me to confront it and call it out. So we're here tonight, and I am pulled into some strange directions in terms of tonight's teaching as we close out on the false Khazarians versus the real biblical Israelites. Now, I want to, I said to somebody that I was going to mention this. In understanding Hebrew, I was going to begin to teach this in some of our seminary or Bible school classes on understanding the Hebrew language. The word Hebrew is Ivri, and what we are dealing with in today's Hebrew is modern Hebrew based off of the Texagramma. This is where they added vowel points to the Hebrew. The yod, that's where we get the yod, the hey, the tav, the aleph, the bet, the makwaf, and that sort of thing. So what does makwaf? Understanding that Hebrew, the language Hebrew, goes from right to left. No, when we open a book, we start and we read from left to right. But in the ancient, as well as the modern Hebrew, it is from the right to the left. And the makwaf is like it's a line at the top level of the aleph tav. The proper names that begin with El, like El Elyon, El Shaddai, Elohim. This is what the makwaf is. The makwaf is the symbol that appears in the original Ivri. And in other words, if you remember when I shared, I think it was last week, that the original Hebrew was pictograph. Paeolian Hebrew is pictograph. It's on a higher frequency, and some people still use it in code. So like the term, let's go back to the makwaf or the El. El Elohim. That's translated the mighty Yah. El Shaddai. God Almighty, or I like to use the term Yah Almighty. El Elyon, Elohim Elyon, the Most High God. El Olam, Elohei Olam, the everlasting God. So we will get more into the understanding of the Hebrew, but I would point everyone, if you desire to learn the language of Hebrew, I want to refer you to one of the top teachers. His school is par excellence, and he is Yah father to my two granddaughters, Moray Zion Lex, out of New York. Moray Zion Lex. Moray Zion Lex. Chief Avidal Ben Levi is his Hebrew name. Chief Avidal Ben Levi, also known as Moray Zion Lex. He teaches the Hebrew in excellence. In fact, I might just drop a couple bills to him and say, you know, I'm gonna act like I'm a dummy, and just as a refresher, because maybe it's some things, even though I am a rabbi, but I'm still a student. So we all are yet learning. But just want to, because I promised someone that I would go over the Hebrew alphabet. Okay. So the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, I don't have time to set up a drawing because I really wasn't going to talk about this, but last minute, because I mentioned something earlier. But in the Hebrew alphabet, you have the Aleph, the Bet, the Gimel, the Dalet, the Hey, the Vav, the Zion, the Het, the Tet, the Yod, the Haf, the Lamed, the Mem, the Un, the Chamet, the Ayin, the Pei, the Sadi, the Hoaf, the Resh, the She'an, the Tav. Don't worry, we'll go over that. A couple more Zooms. But the Aleph is like an A that's on the side, like an A that got drunk and just fell down on the side. The Aleph. And the Aleph denotes, it means ox head, strength, or the crown. The Bet deals with in the house in. The Gemel is the foot of a camel. The Dalet is the tent door, or the pathway. The Hay is the window. It is for the word lo and behold. The Vav, V-A-V, the Vav, it means hook or nail. Now, right off the bat, I need y'all to see, even within the alphabet of the Hebrew, you see them mentioning our Messiah. The Zion means the plow, the weapon, or to cut off. The Het means tent wall, fence, and also means separation, which in Christendom or in the Greek, the New Testament, it talks about being consecrated. And this is also it begins with the Hebraic thought, being consecrated, set apart as an individual as well as with the scriptures. The Tet means the basket, the snake, the surround. The Yod, it means the hand, the work, or the deed. And the Chaf is the palm of the hand to open. And the Lamed is the staff, the ox goad for control. And the Mim is the water or chaos. Word Nun means seed, fish, or life. The Chamet, the hand on the staff, support or prop. The Ayin deals with sight or the sea. experience what you experience, your sight from what you experience. The pay, mouth, word, speak. The sadi, man on the side, fish hook. The quap, sun on horizon behind. The resh, the resh, the resh. The resh deals with leadership. The resh, or in many modern synagogues, when they refer to as the rabbi, they refer from this word, the resh, but it's pronounced the Rosh, Rosh servant. Rosh, or Resh means man's head, the first or the chief. So you refer to the leader or the chief rabbi as the Resh or the Rosh servant. And the Shin deals with the act of to consume, to eat, consume, or destroy. And lastly, the Tav deals with the mark, sign, or covenant. The Hebrew is a beautiful language, conveying the message of salvation. People miss the message. And my job is to convey, to teach, that you don't miss the message, because if you miss the message, you'll miss the mark. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm still learning. Just like Arya Binya has these children in Harlem, in the Hebrew community, learning Hebrew, the alphabet, right there. And what a ways to go. We have a ways to go. And we'll get there. The only time you'll see me get very stern and arrogant is when I'm dealing with another arrogant person in the heat of a debate. In fact, I got to the point last night. There's one particular person I was waiting for them to respond, because I was going to clown them openly. I was waiting. I got really into a moment of debate. I was ready to debate. And Arya Binya, I noticed, I'm just seeing this post you put up. Operation Uranus. Operation Uranus. The day Hitler's Nazis were smashed and the Soviet Union began to take the upper hand. Okay, I appreciate you. That's heavy. Yeah. Okay, I don't need to even mention this. Okay, I see that you got the picture of Miss Israel, and everybody can see Miss Israel. Wait a minute, hold on. That looked like a black woman. Well, what do you think we've been telling y'all? The false state of Khazaria, they know the deal. They make race an issue. And this is why I give them hell. And this is why I have to deal with Many of them. Okay. I saw that I had tagged you, Aria. I tagged you. And this is the post. And I was real tired right before bed. Um Melanie, Akoti Melanie. I never shared with you my personal testimony, have I?
Just a moment. Okay.
Okay. I never told you what happened to me.
I don't know if you have or not.
I'm about to share it now. I'm about to share it. Rabbi Shaul, Apostle Paul, talks about an infirmity, having an infirmity of the flesh. Now, some scholars have often argued that he had malaria, that he was losing sight. We know he dealt with some infirmities as well as being in prison. But I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. In 2011, as a little boy, I grew up loving trains and always wanted to be a train driver. Um, Riding the subways, coming up as I was born and raised in Philadelphia, and so anybody knows anything about North Philly, um, Broad Street to get from top to South Philly uh, is the Broad Street subway line. It's called the Orange Line. Um, from West Philly to East Frankfurt, that's called the Blue Line. That's the Market Frankfurt L. It leaves Upper Darby and goes into West Philly. It's running elevated, but when you get to like 40th Street, it goes down into the ground as a subway and it runs through Center City, intersecting and crossing the Orange Line, and it loops around to 2nd Street on the east side of Philadelphia, right by the Delaware River. Then it comes out of the tunnel and it runs up elevated again all the way up to the northeast Philadelphia, the section of Philadelphia called Frankfurt. So I operated the Broad Street line before. I briefly drove the L, but mainly I was the operator of the Norristown High Speed Line, which rode up top. Always wanted to operate trains. The house that I'm living in right now, at the time, my wife and I was attempting to purchase it. I was working overtime. As a matter of fact, it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday, December the 10th, 2011. I was supposed to be done work at 8 o'clock, but my coworker felt funny. She said, "Could somebody take me off my run and finish my run?" And me being, I was already there on overtime. I was like, "I'll do it." Yeah. And that was the last scheduled train of the night. So I'm running. I'm operating back and forth, back and forth. And earlier that day, someone had got killed on the Blue Line. And so we was like, yo, I'm a group of operators, was like, yo, everybody be careful because this is that season, Christmas season, holiday season, where people get depressed. and decided to kill himself. Well, little did I know what was waiting to happen to me. I left the terminal in Norristown. I'm headed back. Track speed, the speed that it was posted that we were allowed to go was 70 miles per hour. Yeah, so I was an operator of a high-speed train. Same speed that the Broad Street subway goes. I remember this. I'm operating, I'm looking out, and I'm saying to myself, we're almost to the end of the line, then my night is done. I'm coming around this curve, and all of a sudden I look to my right, standing out, came out of the bushes, was this young teenager, Caucasian. He had a hoodie on. And I'm thinking to myself, he's waiting till I pass so he can cross the other side. Why is he out there? And while these thoughts, another thought came. And this is how thoughts can come quick. He's going to jump. And I was like, no, he ain't going to do it. And as I'm rationing, saying, no, he's not going to do it, he jumped. He jumped in front of me. I heard the thud. And as he went underneath the train, I could hear his body being torn apart. This young man decided to commit suicide. By this time, it was 2:25 in the morning, Sunday morning, December the 11th. This tragedy happened December the 11th, 2011. And we had to have the train evacuated. The train was evacuated, and supervisor, police, and make a long story short, I got home around 7:20 in the morning. It caused me to suffer not amnesia. What is it called when you can't sleep? What is that called?
Amnesia?
Not amnesia.
No, oh, wait a minute. Insomnia.
Insomnia. Yeah. So I was afflicted with insomnia. And the doctors, of course, they sent me, I had to go see a doctor, therapist for a year. And it was just like, it was a joke. To me, it was a joke. But okay, but they recognize, hey, you need to be able to get sleep. So they had to prescribe me sleep medicine. And this is a testimony. It's just a testimony. This is one of the price you will pay, not only for the anointing, but for whatever capacity the Almighty calls you to walk in. So, with that in mind, I put out a challenge last night to these Khazarian supporters. And what I wrote, this is what I wrote before my medicine kicked in and I went to bed. Any one of you that are a defender of the Ashkenazi Khazarian hordes that claim that false identity, come on and face me in a debate. I'm waiting for anyone, including Vocab Malone or any Christian apologist. Again, I challenge any one of you. Now, who is this Vocab Malone? I'll finish reading this after I share. First of all, why am I keep calling out Vocab Malone? Vocab Malone is a gatekeeper. The moment Israelites that look like me or darker woke up and said that we're Israelites, he instantly began to attack us and try calling some debunking us. He attacks people, some of our brothers that's from these camps. That I'm not going to make light of them, but some of the brothers that belong to the camps that be on the street corners, whether they be IUIC or from another organization. And he goes after them and questions their scholarship. But he challenged my brother, Prince Charladine, aka the Mighty Hebrew, and he got destroyed. Mighty Hebrew put him in a body bag. He challenged Morey Zion Lex and got destroyed. A couple other people he challenged, including Dr. Richardson Kelly. He got destroyed. Vocab Malone is a joke, all right? But he keeps making these memes and YouTube videos. And so I said, okay, I tell you what, let's have it. I'm one of those ones. Call me out. Come on, let's have it. But to be honest, he's not a waste of my scholarship or anybody else's scholarship. So let me finish this post. My scholarship, along with historical records, will defeat you along with the rubbish that this is what I came after the Ashkenazis, because they love to quote from this false, racist defender of Judaism. They call him the Great Rambam. The Great Rambam. The Rambam spewed some rubbish many years ago, calling us monkeys. Calling us monkeys. Oh my, I gotta stop. Oh man, Apostle Ronald Harrison. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'll open up before. Let me finish this. So I called out. I said, y'all can bring the Rambam's book, and I'm gonna still eat you alive. The Rambam said that we was nothing more than monkeys. And this is who y'all with the Ashkenazi Judaism, y'all champion. This is y'all champion. He's calling the real Israelites, us, melanated, calling us monkeys. Okay. This is what I wrote. Bring your Talmud, and I will destroy you with the help of my Elohim and my knowledge of Torah. I will destroy any of you. I will destroy this putrid, mindless horse manure that supports the Khazarian ideological satanic garbage. Now, That being said, I have a spiritual mother who is she's Irish, but when you hear her preach, pray, and talk, she sounds like a sister. But she's Irish, and she's like a mother to me. Apostle Rabbi Kathy DeJesus. She brought something to my attention that and we never, and I told her I was going to touch on it. Noah, I think I touched on it the other day when Doug Rice was on. Noah, we know Noah was a black man, but Noah was also an albino. That's facts. Enoch was an albino. Albinoism dwelt among the Israelites. So why then, Rabbi, have you been attacking these philosophical ideas of the Khazarians? Because if you will understand what I've been saying, they are the authors of racism. The Khazarian people created white supremacy, not for white people, for Khazarian only. The Khazarians hail from Yahweh. They have raised up through wickedness, evil families to put a stranglehold on the world's economy. The Khazarians. Let's before I open the floor, I'm giving you a glossed detail. Why did Yeshua say in Revelation 2:9, I know them will say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan? Moreh Zion Lex did a teaching that was powerful. He said, a Jew, anyone that worships the Creator, that gives praise and glory in the spirit, is a Jew in spirit. Because the term Jew was formed from a derogatory, it was originally a derogatory term. It's for the tribe Judah. So the term Jew refers to the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah. Now, fast forward. The Khazarians came to prominence through the sale of drugs and sex trafficking of children. The Khazarians, under the name of Bara, then they changed their name to Baccarat, and then two other names or families came from Bara, Baccarat, and that is Rothschild and Sassoon. The Rothschild-Sassoon dynasty made their name of trafficking illegal drugs. The Sassoon dynasty is responsible for hooking China many years ago, many centuries ago. Opium, the opium drug trade came from the Sassoon Rothschild family. From the drug trade and the child porn sex trafficking, Khazaria, let's go back for a minute. There was a king. The kingdom of Khazaria had a king, and we mentioned this, King Bulan. He was being threatened with to become a Muslim or become Roman Catholics. So he sent a letter, he penned a letter, sent it to King Sargon, who was ruling over Israel, because Israel was under the Persian control because of their sin. King Sargon sent King Bulan two rabbis, and when I say this, I want y'all to understand why I'm saying it. Two Israelite rabbis, two black rabbis. These black rabbis, at the request of King Bulan, he wanted his nation to be converted to Judaism, but he needed to learn the religion of Judaism. So he requested that two rabbis bring him Torah, but they did not bring the teachings of Torah. The very thing that Israel was banished and under slavery, under Elohim's judgment, is what these two rabbis brought. Babylonian Talmudic witchcraft. The Talmud is a wicked book. Long story short, these two black rabbis taught King Bulan Talmud. King Bulan and his nation then converts and begin to call themselves Jews. What was the religion of the Jews or Judah? Judah was one of the 12 tribes. They followed Torah. Judaism don't practice Torah. Judaism is the practice of Talmud. Now, let's go further. We'll talk at another Zoom in detail what is the Talmud. It's a wicked book. It's not Torah. These are wicked ideological, philosophical ideas from satanic rabbis. So, King Bulan becomes a Jew. Their kingdom then began to grow, and they began to move into the financial structures of then powers of Europe, European governments. From the Khazarian dynasty, the Sassoon emerges, not only the Sassoon, but the Rothschild, which means red shield. Rothschild has 5 sons, empowers them with money and with an assignment to overtake the banks of Europe. Rothschild family learned to make money through war and slavery. Rothschild funded the transatlantic slave trade. The Rothschild owned the ships, and the Rothschilds owned the plantations in the South. I'm trying to keep my language clean and stay on point because I feel like cussing right now. Because it angers me. There's so many of you that may listen. You got the nerve to call Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, and people like myself anti-Semites? Are you crazy? When I have given historical records and facts that prove that we are, not because our skin color, we can trace genetically who we are. The Bantu, the Limba, the Shante, the Igbo. We are related genetically to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Our forefathers sinned, and Esau, via Rome, sacked Jerusalem, the temple, and Yehuda ran south. Levi, Ephraim, to South Africa, Ethiopia, Ghana, and Nigeria. The Hamites, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Americans, the British conspired, took a Confederate. Yes, you Arabs, you Muslims, you joined Catholics. You conspired, and you stole our ancestors from Ghana and Nigeria and other parts of the motherland. The Rothschild funded it. The Rothschild paid for it. It was all theirs, their machine. They made money off of slavery. Kanye West was a fool for saying slavery was a choice. That's just an idiot drinking. You know what? Let me have a glass of wine before I start cussing. Ask yourself a question. The transatlantic slave trade, and when the slavery, they brought us here and treated us like chattel. And wars broke out thereafter. The Civil War. The Civil War was about keeping chattel slavery. The North wanted to end chattel slavery. The South wanted to keep it. The South had the bigger guns, more money. Rothschild funded them. Through the branch of Britain and France. But guess who woke up and helped the North to defeat the South to end chattel slavery because in his heart he says this is wrong. These are God's chosen people. He knew that they were Hebrew Israelites. Guess what nation was that? Tsar Nicholas of Mother Russia sent two ships, one to the north, one to San Francisco, supplied the north to defeat the south. The Rothschild family got angry at Russia and plotted revenge. And they raised up two atheists that were also Jews, Lenin and Trotsky. Lenin and Trotsky started the Bolshevik Revolution and overthrew the Tsar of Russia and had him and his family killed. And that's where the Soviet Union was formed and birthed. But when it came to the end of chattel slavery, and even after the defeat in World War I of Germany, and when they sat down to carve up Africa, Russia did not take a part of that. It was Britain, it was the French, and America that took part in this racist carving up of Africa, especially King Leopold, who slaughtered 50 million of our people in the Congo. But nobody talks about King Leopold of Belgium. But you notice the Ashkenazis keep throwing out and want everybody to never forget the Holocaust. And notice they always say 6 million. And if you don't believe us, you are anti-Semitic. Let's talk about what King Leopold did. Okay, it's a shame. 6 million Ashkenazi Khazarians were slaughtered. But 50 million was killed at the hand of King Leopold of Belgium. Nobody says nothing about that. But I'm going to move right along. And I want to open the floor. Adolf Hitler wrote in a book that he knew that those who called themselves Jewish was of a bastard people, that they were not the real Jews. He even said this to one of his generals. He held up a picture of an American Negro, and he said, "This is the real Jew." This is what he said to one of his Germans. And then he said he held up a picture of one of the Ashkenazi. He said, "These are the bastards. They're not." And then he understood, because Hitler and his generals met with fallen angels, and fallen angels conveyed to Hitler forbidden knowledge, such as the splitting of an atom to create atomic weapons. But it was Nazi scientists that betrayed Hitler and came to America, and that's how America developed the atomic bomb. That's how. My point in what I'm saying tonight is the world is headed for a great collapse, but also collision. The only reason why America has not been destroyed yet is because of us, the people of the Most High Yah. But Yah is preparing us to make our way out of this country. Yah is saying, get ready. Tell my people to prepare for an exodus. Because what's going to follow is destruction. The late prophet A.A. Allen prophesied of the coming destruction of America, of bombs exploding and fires breaking out. America has never repented. America has not. They have paid reparations for Japan. They give money to the false state of Israel continually from our tax dollars, but they have never gave reparations to our people for what they have done. And because of that, not to worry, people. Judgment Day is coming. I cannot, Apostle Harrison, I cannot preach the yoki doki, hucky bucky, turn around 7 times, run up and down sermons no more. I cannot preach a charismatic, inspired message to make people give, shout, speak in tongues when all around them judgment is about to happen. They don't understand that our whole paradigm has been built on lies. Let me give you an example. Arya Benya, I'm going to share this with you especially. I did not care when this started coming to me, that the earth is not round, that it's 4 corners. I'm like, enough with the rubbish. I'll get that out of my face. I told people, get that out of my face. I don't care. But then the Ruach HaKadosh began to tap me on the shoulder. You need to listen. Oh yeah. What is it you're trying to show me? And I can't tell y'all everything. But I'll tell you this. We've been lied to. The Bible says the earth is flat. It sits on foundations and it doesn't move. Science has lied to us and said, oh, the earth is spinning on an axis and this and that. No, that's lies. The earth, according to the Bible, is flat. Firmament is a dome. Rabbi, do you got Bible? Well, doesn't the scriptures refer to even the assignment of prophets and those that he called to go forth to the 4 corners of the earth? The Bible says it in several places, many times, 4 corners of the earth. Now, I've been studying this Bible since 1983. I've been to school, but it never occurred to me. I always thought of, well, that's just symbolism. No, that's not symbolism. 4 corners is 4 corners. Well, wait a minute. What do you say? Well, listen, Listen, there's no rotation on the earth. The earth don't move. When it moves, it's an earthquake. I'm concerned what's under the earth. According to my Bible, it's a place called hell. And then if I don't get right and stay right with Yeshua HaMashiach and obeying all what he calls me to do, including the laws, the statutes and commandments, that if I die in a sinful condition, haven't repented, I will spend eternity in the lake of fire. We're not having that. I'm scared of hell. I'm scared as hell of hell. I'm not going to hell for nobody. All you racists, you black and you hate white, you're going to the lake of fire. You white and you hate black, you're going to the lake of fire. You're African and you hate Mexicans, you're going to the lake of fire. You're Mexicans and you hate Puerto Ricans, you're going to the lake of fire. That's why the Bible says flesh and blood cannot enter. So you better get rid of your flesh. So all that I've shared tonight, the false state of Khazaria, learning the Hebrew alphabet, this is to make you clearly to understand as an Israelite how you're supposed to walk, how you're supposed to conduct yourself. Shalei Gakai ben Yehuda was one of the first ones that began to teach me the Hebrew. And I was like, I can't learn this. I hardly know how to speak English as well as Spanish. But it is essential to understand the Paeolian Hebrew, pictograph, and be careful of the modern block Hebrew, because some of them tried to stick in Yiddish. And Yiddish is not Hebrew. Yiddish is broken German. It's a form of German language that they try to mesh in with the Hebrew, but and many of them know certain things in terms of Hebrew, but it's not. When you listen, a lot of them have it's broken Hebrew. In other words, it's a corruption because they try to mesh in their German ancestry, and so now that's what Yiddish. It's Yiddish. Let me give you an example. In America, we don't speak English. We speak American. We don't speak English. We speak American. A lot of stuff, a lot of meanings that we say, totally something different in Britain. And I'm going to leave that alone for right now. So to understand the language of our Father is to study Hebrew and the mind in which from the Creator comes this language. I'm going to open the floor, but I was revisiting the events on September the 11th, 2001, that day happens also to be my birthday. I was born September 11th, 1965. And I was studying some of the events. And I remember some of the documents. And I had one of them sent to me, and I should have kept this document so I could show proof of what I'm saying. A communication. I talked about this with Doug Rice was on, and he verified. A communication went out to all Jewish employees not to come to work that day. But it wasn't written in language such as English or even Hebrew. They used pictograph Hebrew. Apostle Harrison, I saw this email. And I became afraid, appalled, and I don't know how to describe, but I never studied pictograph. Let's just say, when I was a Freemason, you had to learn symbolism. So I understood some of the symbolism, but it was the symbolism they told their employees not to come to work. This was going to happen. This is planned. I can't make this up. A plane was going to go into one tower and another plane into the other tower. I literally saw this. This was, or Rabbi, how do you know this wasn't created after? No, this was an authentic document before September the 11th. I didn't realize what it was saying until after the event. And I wish I had that document. We are living in a wicked time. And these people are going to get what's coming to them. And they deserve it. So in understanding Noah, when people get stuck on skin color, does it really matter to some? Yes. Because the Bible is preached from a Eurocentric perspective. The Bible is taught in colleges from a Eurocentric perspective. Israel has been Europeanized. And so when you say that the real bloodline Hebrews were melanated, were black people, then you being cussed out until you can back up the facts, and you got documents, and you got historical records, and you have, matter of fact, if you understand what the scriptures teach, you know that this is false. And then I tell everybody, Arthur Kessler, the 13th tribe, he told on the Khazarians, and they killed him for it. So, my brothers and sisters, just because you say you're Israelite, don't guarantee you going to heaven. Don't guarantee you're going to automatically get wealth if you don't work or you don't develop a business. Nothing is coming easy. If anything, hell is on its way. Hell is on its way. Okay. Apostle De Jesus just commented and wrote, he says, well, one thing I've been studying lately is the culture of Native Americans. I mean, okay, me and her, we have a dialogue, and she's an intellectual, and I enjoy conversing with her. But if anybody attacks her, I have her back, and she's just as controversial as me. Sometimes she keeps me. Her and Rabbi Stansberry keeps me. All right, stay the shit now. Stay. Don't get tossed. But I'm gonna open the floor. Anybody have any comment, question, want to share? Time is
I have
yours.
something to say.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I was listening to your meet yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get on yesterday, but I heard a little bit about it real quick. Since I'm on the outside, I want to listen up. Amen. My man's pointed out, he got a mouth like you. Y'all got to watch it. Y'all got mouths, man. I was telling Rabbi Steve, if I listen to you like y'all too much, I'm going to slip too. I'm back in the day too. I used to have a mouth too. If I keep on listening to you, I'm gonna mess around, slip out there. But y'all make me laugh. I love y'all. I really love y'all. But real quick, I got to keep this in the mind. Like he said yesterday, if it's already happened, and you don't see it happen, it's a spiritual battle. You got to fight spirits with spirits real quick. Amen. Another thing you got to look at too, Rabbi, the name of Yeshua is not being used again. They want to keep the name of Yeshua out of your mind. If you're Christian or you Hebrew, they don't care. It's the name of Yeshua. And you got to remember too, we are the people of the book, yes. And nobody putting the key point that we are staying on is the Sabbath, man. You know, that's one day is synchronized with Yahuwah, is the Sabbath. And you know, even though you say you're Hebrew, what? We keep the Sabbath different than anybody else, man. So y'all was telling me, man, this is a spiritual battle. And you can't fight the devil, man. You fight the devil's flesh, you're gonna lose, point blank. And that's what they want.
That's right.
My last thing is, man, if you're Hebrew or not, they want to put a shaking and see who's gonna fall away. That's what they want right now.
Yeah.
They got on Tyree and the other dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's getting on, everybody's saying, but what it is they're trying to shake the platform. They're trying to shake us so bad to see where we stand. You know, and that's why I'm trying to tell you, I'm looking on the outside, I see what's going on. You know, are you Hebrew or you're not, Christian or what, but they keep the name of Yeshua out of it.
Right.
The name of Yeshua. So
right.
That's what I see.
Right. Absolutely. Ariel, you got your hand up?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to get off to Yeshua. Yeah. Shout out to Akaya Ben Yehuda. Rabbi Yosef, I've been looking at some ebooks of Barnes Noble and can you hear me first?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I've been getting ebooks and stuff, and I'm happy to see the fact that there's a lot of Afro-Cuban books up there because I'm trying to get some books that relates to the real 12 tribes of Israel and stuff now. Ron Dalton, he already covered about most of the northern tribes coming from Pacific West and stuff. And I've seen his documentary, so still in Latin America, there's some people that said that not all of those people are the real, but can you help me explain it more better?
Okay, I can point you to some of the scholarship that you can look at. Well, I'll inbox you. I think of the books. Um, um, Coach Melanie Brown, you got your hand up.
Yeah, on the churches or assemblies, that are doing the true way, the Hebrew Israelites and everything, they're still using Jesus as the Messiah's name.
Yeah, You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. That it. You know what? I heard. I watched a. I watched a program before I came on. A minister in somewhere parts of Africa, and he mentioned, you know, he was teaching on having an atmosphere, blah 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 blah, and walking with God, and then he made the statement that it don't matter if you call him Jesus or Yeshua. Then he said, um, Jesus and Yeshua means the same, and I didn't say nothing because I ain't want to break my TV, but a lot of pastors are going to be held accountable for teaching that lie. The the name Jesus does not mean Yeshua in the Hebrew. Not only Yeshua, if you transliterate it and you come into the English, you get the word Joshua. Okay? It's Joshua. Yeshua or Yeshua, transliteration is Joshua. So where do we get the name Jesus from? Right off the bat, Jesus is a Latin, Greek, perverted name. It's a pagan name. It means earth pig.
I just said it.
Then you have to research the manuscripts from which Bibles were transliterated. Corman Cave Dead Sea Scrolls, 150 BC. The name of the Father, Yahweh. The Sabbath is the seventh day. Keep the commandments. On the Corman Cave Dead Sea Scrolls, the next is the Septuagint. The Septuagint is actually Greek. Codex Sinaiticus, Codex Sinaiticus. Yahweh is his name. Saturday or the seventh day is the Shabbat. There's many different manuscripts. The Septuagint, the Masoretic Hebrew text, the Peshitta. All of these Aramaic, Hebraic translations. Nothing has changed until you get to the manuscript authored by the Roman Catholic Church. And there, in fact, it's two manuscripts, the Latin Vulgate and the Codex Sinaiticus, or I'm not saying it wrong. the King James Bible was transliterated from can't think of the name, but it's
Texas
the
reception.
Texas. Thank you. You've been listening. Thank you. You've
Yeah.
been listening. Thank you. The Texas Receptus, Latin received text. The Texas Receptus was developed from the Reformation. Martin Luther broke free from the Roman papacy. The point is, that's where you begin to see Yahweh's name changed. Jehovah, and all of a sudden, Jesus, because these people are perverted in their doctrine. When you study ancient Rome, and is if you have the stomach, because they made several movies. I had just got saved, and I made a mistake and looked at this movie called Caligula. You've heard about it? You've heard about that movie? Oh my God. Oh, the perversion was deep in that movie. I can't even begin. I don't suggest none of y'all go watch that movie. Especially if you have struggled in your past sexually. That's not that the Roman people, those people, and to think that they try to hijack the faith. And this is from where the Roman papacy come from, the Roman Catholic Church. No wonder. I mean, it is beyond perverse. It is. So that's why they had the guts to rewrite scriptures, replace some things, and erase some things. This is why I can appreciate Dr. Stephen Pidgeon for giving us the Sefer translation, because the books that they took away gave them back. No, trust me, it was called Caligula. You don't want to see it. Trust me, you don't want to see it. It when I say it's perversion, it is perversion to the 1,000%. These people were I had just got saved. And I saw this and I was like, oh, I kind of wish I was drunk, because it was disgusting. It was disgusting. Matter of fact, how many of y'all remember the movie The Exorcist when it first came out in the 70s? Y'all remember that? The movie The Exorcist? Unfortunately, I found out that movie was based off of a real event. And it wasn't a young girl that had got possessed. It was a young male. This is why I didn't want any parts of the deliverance ministry. And believe it or not, that's what Yahweh called me to do, is to cast out devils. So that being said, anybody else have anything you want to share? If not, I want to say shalom to you, Shalek Akaya ben Yehuda. Thank you for coming on. and I have to get with you to let you know the date that I'll be going back to Nigeria, because the Most High said that He's going to use you to prepare me. Um, so, Melanie, you had your hand up again?
Oh, you were, there was a title you said before my name, cultic or?
No, Okoti. Okoti.
What's that mean?
Okoti. Okoti is the Hebrew for sister. Like,
Sister?
yeah, like for brother, I would say Ak. Ak is brother. Okoti is sister.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Ak is the brother. Okoti is the sister. Okay.
Yeah.
In Hebrew.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Right. Shalek Kai Ben Yehuda, Apostle Harrison. So Apostle Harrison, you so you heard about my show the other day, huh?
Oh, yesterday's show, man. Y'all was, man. You and old boy, what's his name? Bowman? Who was with you?
Doug Rice. Doug Rice.
All right. I like him, man.
I know.
I'm about to get him. I don't care your mouth, man. But when he started talking about Yeshua, he said Yeshua, and he talked the spiritual, that's what saved him.
Yeah.
That's what saved him. He's ready to go. He's rock hard, ready to go. I like that. But when he brought Yeshua out,
right,
that's good.
See, I brought him on for a reason. See,
yeah.
Unfortunately, and I don't condone the way others may do things. I know I'm edgy, and I have to come, and I come with it, and y'all, because one day y'all told me, he said, you got to be you, and sometimes you're gonna have to bring it raw and uncut. He said, because tell my people it's about to go down. It's about the stuff that's being exposed. Even I'm gonna share this. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm not even an Apostle Harrison. I'm gonna tell you this. I said to some sisters, I used to give some of y'all access. That's over. Because I'm tired of these people acting funny. Guessing or what is that all about? You can't even come as a pure brother without being second guessed, because maybe you used to dealing with jokesters. I'll say it that way. I'm being nice. I don't have time for it. Y'all said focus on your mission and not friendship. Cut with the sword, and whoever it offends, don't apologize. Cut with the sword. Kill. And that's what we're gonna do. And I'll tell people in a minute, I am unapologetically Puerto Rican, and I will cut the throat of any cockroach. That's what we call these false folk. We call them cockroaches. And we got a bunch of cockroaches in these churches. They playing with y'all feeling. But also last night, and there's a brother who did a powerful testimony. Apostle Harrison, I'm gonna send his video to your inbox. Shalek Kai Ben Yehuda. Anybody that want to see this video, he a saved born again brother, loves Yah. He was working at World Trade Center 1, and he said he was at his desk, He said he saw a fireball fall. He said, "What is this?" The first tower had got hit. So they all exited, ran to the elevators, went down, and this message came: everything is safe. Go back to your offices. Go back to your offices. He said he went up. He said, but he dismissed some of his workers, tell them, go home. Let's go. I'm going back up and finish. So he went up to the 87th floor and he sat down. And he said he could see the view of Statue of Liberty and one of the bridges. But he said phone rung, and it was a colleague who had been watching the news in Chicago and said, Brother Stan, leave now. Go, leave. He said, why? Why do you want me to leave? He said they had saw that the first plane hit, and they saw there was another one headed. And the brother said he turned around and he saw what was a small dot grew, and he realized it was a plane coming right at him. He said, God, you handle it. I can't handle this. And he ducked under his desk as that plane smashed in to his floor in the building. And miraculously, he was able to crawl from under his desk. He said, now here's one of the testimonies. He was reading his Bible. His Bible was on top of the desk. Everything around him was destroyed, but he's able to crawl from under his desk, crawl out, and they tumbled down 10 flights of steps, and then he was to go out. They made it out to the floor, and they were running and stopped. And where that church was at by the World Trade Center, they was like, what's they? Everybody's looking up. And then Brother Stan said, the building's about to collapse. They said, man, it was only a plane. It's burned. The jet fuel ain't gonna melt steel. And he said, all of a sudden, they saw the building sway, and then boom, 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 boom. Let me share something with y'all. Jet fuel did not burn that steel. That was detonation. And we'll talk about that another time, because I can tie this in to the scheme and the plots. Okay, I might as well say it, and we're going to discuss it. Mossad agents were seen before 9/11 going in and out of the World Trade Center 1 and 2 in unmarked van. If I find that video, I'll send it to you, Apostle Harrison. I'll send it to everybody and let you hear what this lady, who was the desk chief in the CIA, she told what was going on and what happened. And they locked her up and they tried to kill her. And when they let her out of prison, because they had nothing to charge her on, she said, I'm going to expose you. And she told everything. Susan Laudenberg, I think her name is. I'm gonna find that video before they destroy it off on the internet. I'm telling you, this is not conspiracy. This is exposing what went on. Undercover Mossad agents were seen going in weeks before September 11th, between 12 midnight to 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. And what type of evidence was found at, yeah, he has something to do with it as well. Yeah. What kind of evidence they find? They found military grade explosive called nanothermite. Okay. We'll talk about that another time. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. These people all work for the synagogue of Satan. So I said what I said. It is what it is. Yeshua is coming. And he know I'm one of the ones that's crazy enough to talk about it. So that being said, I bid everybody shalom aleichem and see you when we come on again.